first thing first, I would like to say a big thank you to you because, while I was guiding these
अरे
students
फॉर्मेलिटी छोड़ तू आगे आगे
फिर भी करना पड़ता है ना.
So as you would have seen, it's a very frank and a candid interview that I have had with Mahesh. So those of you who don't know, Mahesh had featured on this channel a long time back, approximately 4 years back, right before he was about to start his PhD in Germany. And apart from the things that he shares on Chakravyuha, he is a very helpful person, and when he went to Germany, he himself helped out a lot of students who wrote to him, be it checking their statement of purpose or their cover letters, helping them out through the procedure, and a lot of students have benefited from that. So in case you are also someone who would want to who wants to do a PhD abroad, or now he's in fact a postdoctoral fellow in UK, University of Nottingham. So he recently completed his PhD, by the way, and now he's moved to pursue his postdoc in UK. So he might also help you in applying for postdoc also if you are a senior PhD. All right. So definitely I will give you the link to his email ID down in the description box. Make sure you write to him. I'm very positive that he would reply or he would respond to your email, even if he might not be able to help you out. So anyway, so on this particular interview, we have talked about his journey through PhD, and whatever things apart from that we have discussed, you will find the relevant sections down in the description box, or you can just go through the timeline through the video also. It's a very candid interview. Because he's a friend, so of course we had some informal discussion also, and I hope that you like it. All right, so without any further ado, let's begin. Okay. Hi, Dr. Mahesh. Welcome back on the channel.
Thank you so much.
How does it feel, man? It's a standard question, but of course it feels good. But anyway, if you want to say something else apart from that, how does it feel being a doctor, that to a PhD, not a regular doctor?
It feels great. We feels like, at least for the first week, I think we feels like we have achieved something that we have dreamt for a long time. It's been a long journey, right? Starting from the schools, then college, and so on. So finally we reached at a point that a PhD, as we always say, is the highest academic qualification that one person can get. So from the time I got my degree, I'm no longer a student, and I can't study anymore in this area, I think. Yeah, obviously it feels great. Yeah.
And I think getting a postdoc right after your PhD feels even better, right?
So true. Yeah, this is something I have to pay tribute to my previous institute and the kind of research that I have done there, because I know many people, even after struggling for 5-6 years of their PhD, and they still have to struggle to find a postdoc immediately after. So yeah, it's kind of a blessing as well as the result of the hard work that we all do.
Right. Just for the viewers, even though I know it, how long a duration did you rest before moving for a postdoc?
4 days maybe.
This is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. This is awesome. So just by the way, he is doing his postdoc in UK, and maybe he can tell you more about what his research would be like in his postdoc.
Okay, yeah. So in my PhD, I was doing kind of some chemical biology along with pure organic chemistry. And then during my PhD, I felt like I should move more towards kind of pure medicinal chemistry. So my postdoc project will be completely based on the synthetic medicinal chemistry. I don't know if I can say more details about the project, but it will be something like developing some receptor agonists for the treatment of a lung disease in general.
Yeah. Recommend me for the postdoc also once you establish yourself over there.
Of course, you are my first choice.
Okay, cool. So so we shot a video 4 years back where you guided a lot of students on how to apply for Germany and other European countries, and I'm glad that in fact you would also be knowing that more, I think more than 10 to 12 students whom you would have guided through the channel, or who approached you, they are now, you have your pawns in different parts in Europe who came with your guidance. So that is super cool. And I think a lot of them are now pursuing their PhDs. So now that you
Yeah.
have gone through that PhD journey, many of them are just starting. I know a lot of them personally as well. So just walk us through your journey. How did it feel in the first year? How was the second year? What were the troubles? Whatever it comes to your mind immediately. Of course, let me just tell you that we haven't prepared anything for this interview. It's just a candid thing that we are discussing. So whatever comes on top of your mind, just let us know.
First thing first, I would like to say a big thank you to you, because while I was guiding these
अरे
students and
फॉर्मेलिटी छोड़ दो आगे आगे
फिर भी करना पड़ता है ना. Yeah, actually I felt really satisfied when many of the students whom I guided, when they contact me and they say I have found a PhD position in this university and this group. So I feel like, okay, we are doing a great job, like through your channel and myself through email or social media. As much as I did, as much as I could do during my PhD. So yeah, obviously it's a great feeling to have students all around the world.
Yeah, of course.
And
I agree.
About my PhD life in Germany, I think it was kind of, as I told you before, it was kind of I have a mixed feeling about it. In terms of research and scientific aspect, I am 100% satisfied that I could do what, like the maximum I could do, maybe a bit more, but yeah. But at the same time, I have had some problem moving to a different country, and to a country where they speak a language which I don't know. So of course I had kind of troubles, but everything has its own challenges. So we need to adjust and be flexible and do your best, whatever situation you are in. So yeah, that's the first thing.
Okay, right. And
Yeah.
so like, if whatever comes to your mind in the first year when you went, what kind of things you learned, if you can recall something, or something that you would do differently, or some guidance to some people who are doing PhD. I know there's no one particular point that you can say that okay, this will make you complete your PhD, or this will be better for your PhD, but just your
Mhm.
experience in different like different phases of your PhD, like the first year, the second, the third, and so on.
Yeah. So the first time you come, you definitely, in the first month you will feel like, okay, I should go back. Like I can't do this. That kind
Okay.
of feeling. But at the same time, you have this inner feeling that I have something to achieve big. So that should drive you, like that perseverance, as you always say. Like perseverance always pays off. So maybe you might feel a bit intimidated in the beginning. You are seeing a lot of like highly successful scientists. I must say, like my PhD supervisor, the big professor, he had a H index of 90. You might not believe, but yeah. So you have to present your work in front of these kind of professors, and they will ask you question, and yeah, you have to you will definitely feel intimidated in the beginning, but at the
And
same time you should.
just if you don't know, Professor Benjamin List was in 100-kilometer radius to Mahesh.
Yeah. Yeah, Professor Benjamin Les. I thought of applying to him for a postdoc, but after the Nobel Prize, I did not.
Okay.
Yeah, just kidding. I never planned for asymmetric analysis.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
yeah.
don't be intimidated. So you have this ability. If you come this far, you have the ability to go further. So always believe in yourself. And again, many of the questions I get is about the money. Like we are from a middle class family, or we are not able to support our studies. So if you are coming to an institute like Max Planck or most of the German universities, never be worried about the money, because whatever you get as the salary or fellowship, whatever it may be, will be sufficient or more than sufficient. So in my case, I could save a lot of money, I must say that. So never be worried about the financial things. Then about the culture, of course, is very different, and the language is very different, and you will have to deal with a lot of things like renting an apartment, being independent, and if you rent an apartment, you might have to find contracts for your Wi-Fi, gas, electricity, water, whatever it may be. So, and most of them will not speak the language that we speak. So definitely there are going to be a lot of challenges, but you will get it through somehow. Don't be worried about that. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, like the first year is all mostly about learning, and like you mentioned that when you go there and you look at these brilliant scientists, you might feel intimidated at the start, but you just need to like stick around, and eventually you'll start learning things. So I'm guessing over there as well, the first year is like majorly about learning stuff, how things work in the lab and all those things. So when does this gear shift, when you start your own research? For you, when did it happen, that shift in the gear from learning to adding new inputs?
Yeah, for me personally, it took almost 6 months to do the documentation and everything from the university, as well as my personal stuff, city registration and so on. It took almost 6 months to get properly settled down and to learn new things. But by the time I was lucky enough that I could work on a project which was started by a previous PhD in our group. So basically, even though I was doing all these kind of things, I could spend some time in the lab at the same time. And these results were like, this project really worked out. And in the first year itself, I could publish my first paper, like in 8 months, maybe 8 or 9 months, I published my first paper of my PhD.
Super.
So everyone has a different journey. So I hope, yeah.
Any point in your journey you felt like, okay, you like, at least I questioned when I was in PhD, I questioned my choices at least 10 to 15 times, that why am I pursuing a PhD? Did that ever happen to you while being in Germany?
Yeah, this is like a very common problem in academy, I guess. Like we all feel like imposter syndrome. Like, yeah, I felt at some point, because we look at the other students from the same group and they are like 10 times more productive than you are. So you might feel like, okay, I'm not fit for this. But as long as you are doing your best, I feel like, okay, that's enough. Like if you feel like I'm better than what I was yesterday, then yeah, that's enough. That's sufficient to drive you further. Yeah.
Okay. Did that really work for you, or are you just preaching without practice?
I think it worked for me. Yeah. And I had a lot of support system from my family, of course. Yeah, even though they are away from me, I talk to them regularly on my phone. And my friends, colleagues, they were all friendly and helpful. So everything was like altogether helped me, not just my own drive, but other factors as well came good for me.
Okay. And what about so I know you are definitely into a lot of traveling and recreational activities. So how did you manage to balance it out? Like I'm guessing a lot of PhDs also have a lot of other hobbies, traveling or whatever it might be, dancing, playing instruments. So how did you manage your hobbies with PhD? Do you get enough time? Yeah.
We get actually in German labs, weekends are weekends. Like you don't have to work on weekends. So most of the labs, they get empty by Friday 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So they go, then they have some different plans. So this was what my plan was also. Like I don't leave early on Friday, but still I try to use my weekends well, unless like until the corona happened. So I could not travel anymore. And
Yeah.
more than half of my PhD was affected by corona. So yeah, in the beginning, yes, I traveled a lot and I could do a lot of other activities. But when it came to the lockdown and things, yeah, I could not do many other things. But at the same time, I was in a flat where there were a lot of Indian students. So we cook biryanis, Hyderabadi biryanis, and Yeah, cooking, enjoyed cooking, watching South Korean dramas. Yeah,
Okay.
we had good fun there.
Superb, superb. So yeah, that actually gets me to the next question. You have worked at least for 2 years in Indian labs, right? 1 year in NIPER and about 1 year in CSIR, in Institute of Chemical Biology. And you know the culture that sometimes Saturdays is definitely, it's an unsaid thing that Saturday you have to come and work, and then Sundays some might not, right? And if you still compare the productivity of European nations, not just Germany is again an exception, but it's one of the best in research in the world, not just in Europe. So how is it that you take off on weekends and yet the output is 10 times better than Indian institutes? What do you feel is the reason for that? Like, of course, fine, resources is one thing, but we were discussing it I think a year back or something, where you told me that the mindset of researchers in Germany is totally different than the mindset of Indian researchers. So can you just throw some light on that?
Sure, sure. So before that, as you told already, resources is the biggest thing. Like money always matters. Germany
Mhm.
has too much of money for research, so it's never a problem. But in India, like here, maybe in a day I do like 10, 15 GCMS or LCMS measurements, and we for 4, 5 people we had each of these machine. But in India, in Nagpur, for example, to get a massum, the struggles, right?
Yeah.
uh, this is the biggest point I want to like. This is the first point. Other than that, what I would like to say is the mindset, as you told. Yeah, we are always nervous about our future, I guess. Like, I want to publish this paper, that paper, and then only I will get a postdoc. So we are never in the present. We are always thinking about future, how it will go. We are always worried about that. But at the same time, the people here, when they do research, they think of what is happening, like what is going on in the present, and how they can solve that problem, and how they can convert the results into a bigger picture, like translational science, I might say. Or even if you are doing basic science research, they want to bring something, like something groundbreaking, not just a publication in a 2 impact 3 impact journal, but what they think in their mind is like, I need to give something new to the society. So they have this kind of right mindset, I would say. Of
Okay.
course, I'm not complaining about the mindset of Indian students, because I have been there. I was also thinking the same. So it all, when you grow up, you get this kind of mindset, I guess. So when
Mhm.
you all in India, when you already get into the PhD, it's already too late. Maybe we should start counseling from the school. Like, this is not the way you look at the science. This is the way you look at the science. So I guess,
Mhm.
yeah,
I think
that's
that
it.
somehow has to be brought at the undergrad level, because what I feel is even till 12th, I think individuals or students are very are like quite enthusiastic and energetic about doing science. They do not have those kind of restrictions. I think that somehow happens in MSc second year, or sometimes when you get research exposure. And when you talk to PhD students, they have that mindset that you need publications. So I think that's where the change starts. So yeah, that is true. But don't you think, Mahesh, that has something to do with the poverty in our country, that the governments would not be taking care of us, so we have to care about our future, because we know we can't trust the government to take care of our future. Whereas if you look at European countries, they are a little more privileged in that aspect. That's why they know that, okay, if things don't work out, at least there would be something for us to do.
Yeah.
Would
So
is that something?
I certainly believe that's true. You will be surprised if I say, if I was staying in Germany jobless for next year, I will still be getting 80% of my previous salary without doing anything. Because I worked there for 3.5, 4 years, and I have paid some money for the social security system, and it's called job loss money. So
Mhm.
this unemployment money is the 80 or 60, I'm not sure, but 60% minimum of your previous salary. So I will still be earning more than 1,000 euros per month with sitting idle in Germany, just because I worked 4 years in Germany as a PhD student. So this kind of system we cannot introduce in India with our I mean, I don't know, maybe it's possible, but I don't
Yeah.
believe it will come
Yeah.
very soon.
Right. So, see, what I wanted, just a follow-up question of this, is that you rightly pointed out that yes, resources is one big constraint. Okay, and I agree. Okay, so let's say, like you said, the instrumentation is there, but it might be delayed because maybe the instrument is like, let's say, for getting a scanning, like for going for some particular spectroscopic technique, you might need to contact another professor who is 200,000 kilometers away. You need to send your samples. So yes, the research would slow down, no doubt about it. But what about the quality of publications? I can agree that, okay, let's say 10 good publications would come from Germany, but then why is it not the case that from India at least one good publication would come, even if the resources are not there? So I think that has something to do with the mindset, is it?
Yeah, and the things are, I don't know if I'm saying the right point, but here the academia is unstable. It's not a stable industry to work. So my PhD supervisor, he was kind of 40 or above 40. I'm afraid if he sees this video. So and still he was not having a permanent job. He was a group leader. So he at the end of my PhD, he was also looking for a permanent job. So like when you are in your 40-42 year old and with a family and two children, still looking for a permanent job. So academia is not a safe industry, but in case of India, it's not the same. Once you are assistant professor, you are promoting to associate, then professor, no matter like how you do what you do.
Yeah,
So
true.
this might be a concern, but yeah, we are going to the job industry, so we want stability as well. So I don't know if what is right and what is wrong.
Okay. Another question is, do you feel that that if you would have I don't know how to put it, but if you would have gotten an opportunity to do a PhD from, let's say, some of the premium institutes like NIPER, IIT, IISc, JN, CSR, would you still have taken a chance of doing a PhD, or you would definitely like if someone else has an opportunity, what would you recommend them? One premium institutes in India and one in some foreign nation abroad.
So
I mean, it does
choosing a
not have to be a black
PhD,
and white answer. You could also mention the points that favor each of them.
yeah, that's true. Like choosing a PhD lab is kind of choosing your partner, I would say. Like there are so many things to consider. So if you find something almost equal, but you need more money, then go for abroad. Like go for European countries. I'm not sure about US if you can save some money, but if you come to some European countries for a PhD, of course you will save. So if everything matches, including the research interest and projects and colleagues, everything, PhD supervisor, everything matches, but your only concern remaining is the money, then I would say go for Europe. But otherwise, I mean, I'm not one to compare these institutes and their productivity, but yeah, for me, money was a big reason to choose Max Planck, I would say.
Okay.
It was not the only reason, I must say. Disclaimer.
Yeah, for the video purposes, yeah, of course, it was not the only reason. Yes, true.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So, what else do you like, or you liked apart from the resources? Like you also mentioned to me once, like before, I think we spoke about a year back, where you mentioned that your supervisor is very active when it comes to research. Can you throw some light on that?
Yeah, when we talk about activity or the productivity of a research supervisor, of course, publications is number one thing. Like when we look at they have a very active website and they update each publication and everything. And even though the specific group. Even though we belong to a department, a big department of chemical biology, we had a small group actually with only 3 PhD students. And with three PhD students in our case and 4 PhD students before we come here. And still he managed to publish very good publications and very high numbers. So yeah, this is what I told about active research, I guess, if I remember correctly. But other than that, yeah, he's also a friendly person, very nice.
No, in the sense that you mentioned that if you might correct me if I'm mistaken, but you mentioned, like, for example, he would actively participate in whenever you're drawing some reaction schemes, he would help you out that this could be the mechanism. And you told me that if he tells you a mechanism, most definitely it does work out practically.
True. Yeah. So I don't know if it's true for everyone, but all the supervisors in Europe, but my supervisor, yes, he was really knowledgeable person and resourceful. Whenever you have a question, you can just knock the door and like, even though he is busy, he might answer you or tell you that please come later. So we will definitely have an answer in 5-10 minutes, a response, positive or negative, we will have.
Okay.
And the biggest thing is, here there is no barrier. Like in India, when we go to meet a supervisor or teachers, we need to like too much of humbleness, I would say, like too much artificial humbleness maybe. So here it's like a friend. You can talk to him, call him by his name and talk to him like a friend or a colleague. He's not, even though he's like too successful, too much successful and everything, you can still talk to him like a colleague or friend. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So what are your plans postdoc? Do you plan to join do you plan to get a settled job back in India in academics, like you mentioned? And or do you want to stay abroad or explore the industry? What's your plan like right now? I'm not saying you'll 100% do it. Like, what is your plan as of now? Of course, things change as you progress in your career.
Yes. So as of now, I plan to do kind of 3 years of postdoc, maybe in the same lab, or if my contract do not allow, I might switch the lab. But I have this plan even from the beginning of my PhD that I should do a PhD plus a 3-year postdoc, which is the standard criteria to be a faculty in a premium institute. Like any institute in India is the minimum that they ask for. So for next 3 years, I will continue as a postdoc. Afterwards, we will see. Like my first preference is always to come back and serve our country. But if everything allows,
Okay. Till the time, if I do not get a postdoc opportunity, then I'm surely joining your lab after 3 years.
Oh, come on. You will be a faculty before me.
Okay. Anyway, Mahesh, so if you have something to say to fellow PhD students who are like early PhD students who have just joined in Europe, in India, anywhere, anything you want to say, please.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Kind of giving advices is not my strong point.
Not a speech, but anything from your experience, what you felt. Of course, it's a roller coaster of emotions. So if they are kind of like, of course, they would also face something like that, something which might stick with them, and they might remember it, and that okay, they might relate to you, okay, that these things happen with you, these things happen with me. So if it happens with them, they would know that this is normal, this is not something extraordinary, it happens in everyone's life, whatever it might be.
Few things that strikes me recently is like, maybe you also came across the news from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, like one of PhD student in organic chemistry department, he committed suicide because of some reason. I'm not sure about the reason. Or there are frequently news coming from this kind of news. It actually disturbs me a lot. So I don't know. I can't say like never do it, because I am not in that mindset, whatever they have gone through. But please, like, if you have any problem, find someone, talk about your problem. There should be a solution for all kind of problem. So taking away your life is not the solution for every problem. So talk to people, share your problem, and find possible solution. Never think that is the solution, like the other is the solution. Yeah.
Right, of course. That's really well said. And
Mhm.
apart from that, one thing I wanted to personally ask you is that like I know you, so I want to ask you, you come from a humble background. So at many points you would have felt that others have more opportunities, or I don't know if you felt like that or not. I'm assuming you might have or you might not have, that the others have more opportunities or better resources. Then sometimes when you, and these kind of thoughts only come when when something's not going your way. So what is something that kept you motivated? Now you have reached a position where you can guide so many students, help out so many people, and you are at a position where the whole avenue globally is open to you. So from starting from where you started to reaching this point, what kept you going?
Um, I mean, you give. Uh, I don't know how to say it, but you always keep some standards for you, right? Like, okay, this is what I want to be. Like, this is what I'm capable of. We have this inner feeling. So at some point, you finish your bachelor's, you finish your master's. Still, something like from the inside, you have this feeling. This is not what I want to be. I want to be something more. So there should be a drive. And fortunately, I had this drive, maybe because of my parents. Even if they were not well settled or privileged family, they have instilled in me this drive, like into me this drive of achieving more and more always. So I would not say I have achieved something great or something, but yeah, as much as I could do, I have done my best, and I'm still continuing to do my best. I'm not settled yet. So I think I will never get settled with this mindset.
Yeah, I think the hunger is what drives you forward, and of course, like knowing your potential, that is also very important, that that you got something. Even if you got something great, that you can do better. That's something, yeah, that does come from within. I totally agree. But it was awesome talking to you. We, of course, we'll talk about rest of the things off camera, but
Oh, forgot to tell about something.
yeah.
Some PhD students, they contact me, and maybe through LinkedIn, Twitter, they ask me like how to apply for a postdoc as well. So maybe should we do a different video or?
This mostly I'll be adding in Chakravyuha series, because
Okay.
getting out of the PhD is like a Chakravyuha. But yeah, of course, we can definitely talk about how you got a postdoc, what are the things to be kept in mind. Yeah, that can definitely be an offshoot of this video. Apart from that, one funny incident that you want to share, which I know. So basically, if you don't know, he is a really fun-loving person, and he pulls off really awesome pranks. So, but I don't know if you would want to share some of his incidents in Germany. I'm sure you might have had many. So, is there something, the if you want to show your fun side, some incident that you would want to share with the viewers?
Um, there are not many incidents, but you know, uh, one thing I like is when I was in India, I used to say jokes in Malayalam when I was in Kerala. Then when I moved to Kolkata, I had to do it in uh, Hindi. And
Okay.
even in Hyderabad, I was doing kind of jokes in Hindi. But
Mhm.
in Germany, none of them understand any Indian languages. So I started making jokes in English. And at the beginning, like at the beginning, nobody really enjoys it, but I still keep doing it. Yeah,
Okay.
but by the time I became a master of cracking jokes in English, I guess, with the time, and then my colleagues started enjoying my jokes, and now they say whenever we go. Like when we go into different directions of world, they say like we will miss your jokes.
So that's actually a very important lesson. You have to make a fool of yourself in order to become a master at some point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Superb,
I mean,
superb.
yeah.
And did you
I
make
don't know
any?
if they mean it or not.
And did you make any girlfriend in Germany?
um, no. I did not make any girlfriend my own, but yeah, there are few things which I will share with you personally.
Cool, superb, man. Anyway, Mahesh, thanks a lot, man, for helping so many students out. And I think you'll definitely be a source of inspiration for a lot of students who would be watching this and in general as well. Again, thank you very much for taking our time, and all the very best for your postdoc. And hopefully, I'm also looking forward to meeting assistant professor Mahesh very soon.
Before that, we are planning to meet also somewhere.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll meet in Europe only very soon.
Looking forward. And thank you very much for your time. And if any of your students or your followers, you have a lot of followers. So if they have any question, you can ping my email address in your, you can ping, I think, in the
In the comments
description. Okay.
Yeah.
Feel free to share my email address and I will continue to help as much as possible. And thank you for this opportunity.
Awesome. I can guarantee 100% you can write any stupid bullshit in your email, he will reply to you. I can guarantee you that. so definitely write to him. Hey guys, so I'm a verified educator on Unacademy, and along with that I'm also available on the Unacademy Plus platform where I'm taking live classes along with other educators. So in case you're interested in attending the live classes, you can subscribe to the Unacademy Plus platform using my referral code, that is SETHI, and that will give you 10% discount. Alright, and in case you're not interested in attending the live classes, you can watch the free courses that are available on the Unacademy. For that, all you need to do is go to the Unacademy website or download the Unacademy Learning app and search my name over there, that is ACT. Once you do that, you will get the access to all the free courses that are available on the Unacademy platform. Alright.